Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode on the Hope and Renewal podcast. This is where faith meets real life and hard truths are held with compassion. It's your host, Antonio Banks. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this message touches your heart. Today, I want to talk to the one who feels like they've messed up too badly, like they've gone too far, like they're too broken, too stained, or too undeserving. And that's how I feel. I feel that I'm undeserving. Society even feels like I'm undeserving. I think that people who tries to tune into my podcast feels that I don't deserve them to listen when they find out my background. And that's okay because this helps me let people know that they're not alone. Some people are not guilty of what they're labeled. And yes, there is some that are. So today's episode is called Undeserving, but Destined for More. Like I said earlier, that word has echoed through so many seasons of my life. I didn't just hear it from others, I heard it in my own head. You're not enough. You'll never be more. You don't deserve grace, love, or a second chance. But you know what? Some people agree with those voices. They said I deserved prison. Some believed I didn't even deserve to come out of it. To them, I wasn't even a person. I was a mistake wrapped in flesh. I was just a number, a case, a cautionary tale. Let me be honest with you. What cut the deepest wasn't the judgment from the world, it was the judgment that came from the church. The people who preached about grace couldn't look me in the eyes. People who talked about forgiveness seemed to act like I was disqualified from both. And they loved the idea of redemption until it looked like me standing in the back row of a sanctuary. And that hurt more than the sentence I was serving. And that was because if even the people of God couldn't see past my past, who could? Eventually I started to believe what they said about me. Maybe I really was too far gone. Maybe I didn't deserve forgiveness. Maybe the world would be better off without me. There was a season where death didn't scare me. Living without hope did. And I wonder if someone listening today feels that same way. Maybe you're there right now, or someone you love is. You're carrying guilt that clings to you like a second skin. Shame that never lets you breathe deeply. A past that follows you into every room. But let me pause right here and say something loud and clear. God's grace isn't reserved for the perfect. It extended to the willing. You don't have to earn your place back in God's heart. You were never out of it to begin with. Let me show you something. Take Moses, for example. God called him to lead the Israelites out of slavery. Moses, he was a fugitive. He had literally killed a man and buried him in the sand. By the time God showed up in a burning bush, Moses had been hiding for 40 years. God said, "Go, Moses." Moses said, "Who am I?" That's in Exodus 3:11. He told God he wasn't eloquent enough, that he wasn't the right person, that someone else would be better. Some scholars even say Moses had a speech impediment, but God didn't care about Moses' resume. He cared about Moses' response. Because God doesn't choose the most polished, He chooses the most surrendered. Let me take you to the New Testament. There's a woman caught in adultery, dragged into the temple courts by religious leaders. They didn't just accuse her, they actually caught her in the act. They threw her at Jesus' feet in front of a crowd and said, "Teacher, the law says she should be stoned. What do you say?" They were ready to execute her, not just with rocks, but with shame, humiliation, and condemnation. She didn't get a trial. She didn't get to defend herself. And maybe deep down, she didn't even try because part of her believed she deserved it. But Jesus didn't speak to her guilt, He spoke to her value. He said, "Let the one without sin throw the first stone." And one by one, every accuser walked away. When Jesus finally spoke to her again, He didn't call her a failure. He said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Do you see it? Moses felt unworthy. The woman felt exposed. I felt condemned. You may feel disqualified. But none of that changed how God saw us. And it doesn't change how God sees you. You might feel undeserving, but you are still destined for more. You're still here, listening to this for a reason. And that reason isn't to stay trapped in a lie that you're too broken, too far gone, too dirty to be loved. Shame may explain your past, but it doesn't get to define your future. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not disqualify you. I want you to know this today. You're not a mistake. You're not forgotten. And you're not alone. You are not what they called you. You are not what you did. You're not what the enemy wants you to believe. You are a story of redemption in the making. God isn't finished. His grace still works. And your life still matters. So if you feel undeserving, don't give up. You are exactly the kind of person God uses to rewrite history. I want to thank you for tuning in again. I hope that this Hope and Renewal podcast helps you, and I hope it touches your heart. Share it with someone who is struggling to believe they're worthy of love or purpose. And always remember, you may feel undeserving, but you are still chosen. You are still called, and you are still loved. God is not done with you. Stay strong, keep fighting, and never forget, God loves you. Until next time.